Okay guys, so this is probably the last video you'll see with this machine because I am selling it. And I hope people don't freak out like they did with the CB750 that I'm selling this thing, okay? So the reason I'm selling it is because I built a much bigger one and I don't have enough space. Also, what I want to do is a little recap of this thing and maybe an update, okay? So this thing's been a wet blaster for 2 years. We'll open the door and we'll get a peek inside and see. You know, I know people have concerns about rust and wear and whatever, and none of that's been an issue, okay? So we'll just take a peek in there in a second. But, okay, so in 2 years, I put 16, 17 hours on this thing, okay? That's not a lot. Honestly, it felt like I stood in front of this thing for like freaking 200 hours, but it's only been 17 hours. That doesn't seem like a lot. And it isn't, but I've done a ton of work. I've blasted the whole CB750 engine and carbs, a million other little things that I needed to blast, and it's been great. But that just goes to show you that if you buy a retail machine, you know, you're not going to use it that much. I mean, it's great to have, but I mean, it's one of those things that you're not going to be sitting there all day, every day blasting, right? As a hobbyist. Okay, let's talk about some things that wore out. The original wiper motor, you heard me talk about that several times. It was a $30 motor, but this one's $150. This replacement, it's heavy duty, no issues there. I wasted a piece of glass because it was my fault. This wiper is the original one, and it's still fine. I don't need to replace it, so that's awesome. I did wear out one batch of media, but honestly, I change media so often to do testing for you guys, so there was one batch I definitely wore out, and I'm going to load this thing up with fresh media for the next guy. But anyway, that's it. Everything else has been super solid other than the space, okay? This is kind of not the biggest cabinet in the world, so that's why I went with the bigger one, okay? But other than that, I'm really happy I did it. People all over the world are building this, and it's been great. So I highly recommend getting one of these cabinets, whether you dry blast or wet blast. I mean, it's great. This was a dry soda blast. I used it for dry soda prior to wet blast, and that is an awesome way to clean carburetors if you're doing quick clean jobs. Okay, that's awesome. So, okay, so if you're interested in buying this, I live in the Chicago area, right by O'Hare. So if you want to buy it, let me know. The details will be below. All right, so here's a look on the inside. You can see zero rust. I had to do some touch-up work because getting parts in and out of here scratched the walls, so I did some touch-up. I put the old blast gun in there because I'm not selling my Tacoma gun. But yeah, it's kind of dark here, but yeah, there's no rust. Everything works. And if you build one, it'll be just fine, just like this one.